Cancer is a continuously growing global health problem that poses major challenges, most especially in developing countries. Find out how this international distributor of innovative health products came up with a series of solutions to help increase a patient's chance to survive the odds. In 2020, the Philippines hit a record of 354,398 prevalent cancer cases within a 5-year period. But because of poor access to health care, especially for people living below the poverty line, the advances and breakthroughs in cancer remain unattainable to many.
Cancer refers to a group of diseases that's characterized actually by cell growth, abnormal cell growth and proliferation, inflammation, as well as angiogenesis or formation of new blood vessels. It always starts with mutation in the genome or the genetic makeup of a person inside the cell. Before PPARs, most of my patients, they were unable to finish the chemotherapy regimens because of the side effects and because of discomfort during the process of chemotherapy.
Maria's son Dominic was diagnosed with stage 4 rhabdomyosarcoma when he was only 4 years old. While coping with the recovery of her other sick child, Maria found it hard to accept Dominic's condition.
It was actually very devastating kasi with Dominic, it was manifested mga 4 years old na siya. Unlike dun sa daughter ko na congenital talaga, baby pa lang. Yung mga bandang September, meron ng umuumbok-umbok dito sa leeg niya. Hindi ko talagang iniisip na cancer kaagad siya until nag-nosebleed siya.
Dominic was prescribed chemotherapy, but his family insisted to rush to an integrative doctor to seek for alternative cure.
Medyo hesitant ako kasi as a mother, I know the side effects ng chemotherapy kasi. So what I did is that I rushed towards the integrative doctor of my daughter, who happened to be PPAR partner doctor of Simply Nature.
One of the hardest decisions to make for people living with cancer is choosing the kind of treatment that would work best. To help patients and their families deal with this growing health problem, one company commits to producing safe, credible, and natural health solutions by drawing on the latest bioscience technology to deliver a series of safe, efficient, and natural products. What is Simply Nature and what does it do?
Simply Nature is a company we created and founded about 10 years ago. Our mission is to find effective health solutions for people. So we provide natural products that work in combination with conventional therapy and medicine.
As an international company that provides natural solutions for cancer, metabolic syndrome, and degenerative diseases, the management upholds a health philosophy that centers on whole food nutrition as the frontier in health management.
When we talk about choosing treatment, especially in the area of cancer, patients are really afraid of chemotherapy because of its side effects, and they tend to then look towards natural products. But this is not a either conventional or natural choice. At Simply Nature, patients can have the best of both worlds. Our protocols work with conventional chemotherapy to minimize its side effects so that they can get the best treatment using both conventional and natural together.
Cancer is like a virus. It continuously evolves, it mutates, so it can develop defenses against our usual treatment modalities like chemotherapy.
Like I said, chemotherapy and radiation therapy have a lot of side effects. So more often than not, patients stop their treatment because of these side effects. It's very important to have the support.
With the supplements that we give the patients, there will be lesser side effects, so they will be able to finish their chemotherapy protocols more comfortably.
This company introduced PPARs, which is touted as one of the best natural ways of solving serious health problems.
PPARs stands for peroxisome proliferator activating receptors. It's basically a nuclear receptor found inside the cells. Now, when these receptors are activated, the benefit that you can get from that is, number one, cellular differentiation. Number two, it's to promote fatty acid metabolism. If you have better insulin function, your blood sugar will naturally go down. And another one is to induce cancer cell death by modulating the immune system.
As a sole distributor of PPARs, the company promotes its use to many reputable health institutions worldwide and actively organizes corporate health conferences and public health talks in Asia.
Simply Nature PPARs is made out of a special strain of these types of microalgae. It is very effective by protecting the bone marrow. We maintain the integrity of the immune system of the patient, which is very important to prevent infections and to fight off the cancer itself. And also, Simply Nature PPARs is also very dense in nutrients so that the patient can recover faster because of better cellular healing.
Sabi ko parang na-lead kami to an extraordinary and I must say amazing journey. I'm very proud of him. At a young age, na 8 years old, he believed that it's his purpose to siguro encourage other people then. We would like to really pay it forward with the knowledge that there's really like Simply Nature that can help people with cancer very much.
When fighting cancer, living healthy is very important because it allows us to pursue what is important to us in life, and that's what it's all about. When we can help a patient move from being bedridden to getting up, to be lucid in thought so that they can have conversations with their loved ones, it gives the whole process of fighting cancer a whole new meaning. And that is what drives us at Simply Nature.
CA markers.
Mataas siya. Then, nung after 3 months, nung pag-take ko ng Simply Nature, doon, naging normal na siya until now. Kahit si Dr. Johan na gulat siya kasi biglang normal agad. In just 3 months, nag-normal agad yung CEA ko. 1 year and 5 months. Cancer-free. Dapat may food supplements kayo. Like Simply Nature na proven and tested ko na. Talagang hindi ako pwedeng mawala ng Simply Nature na yan.
2019, I was being diagnosed a cancer of my uterus. So I was shocked. Sabi ko, bakit nagkaroon ako ng ganito? Samantalang hindi ako mahilig sa pagkain. I'm sorry, basura. Started the tablet and then the powder. Tinry ko din yung yung tawag dito.
Gel?
Yeah, yung gel. Yes.
Yeah.
It's really good. After 2 months ng aking therapy and taking PPARs, sabi ni doktora, magpa-laboratory ka na. So, nung nagpa-laboratory na ako, praise God, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, lahat normal. To God be the glory. Salamat sa Diyos. Sa 2 months ko po ng aking pag-take ng PPARs, ako po ay cancer-free.
ko yung tumor
CA
test,
markers.
mataas siya. Then, nung after 3 months, nung pag-take ko ng Simply Nature, doon, naging normal na siya until now. Kahit si Dr. Johan na gulat siya kasi biglang normal agad in just 3 months, nag-normal agad yung CEA ko. 1 year and 5 months, cancer-free. Dapat may food supplements kayo, like Simply Nature, na proven and tested ko na. Talagang hindi ako pwedeng mawala ng Simply Nature na yan.
2019, I was being diagnosed a cancer of my uterus. So I was shocked. Sabi ko, bakit nagkaroon ako ng ganito? Samantalang hindi ako mahilig sa pagkain. I'm sorry, basura. Started the tablet and then the powder. Tinry ko din yung yung tawag dito.
Gel?
Yeah, yung gel. Yes. It's really good. After 2 months ng aking therapy and taking PPARs, sabi ni doktora, magpa-laboratory ka na. So, nung nagpa-laboratory na ako, praise God, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, lahat normal. To God be the glory. Salamat sa Diyos. Sa 2 months ko po ng aking pag-take ng PPARs, ako po ay cancer-free.
CA markers.
Mataas siya. Then, nung after 3 months, nung pag-take ko ng Simply Nature, doon, naging normal na siya until now. Kahit si Dr. Johan na gulat siya kasi biglang normal agad in just 3 months, nag-normal agad yung CEA ko. 1 year and 5 months, cancer-free. Dapat may food supplements kayo, like Simply Nature, na proven and tested ko na. Talagang hindi ako pwedeng mawala ng Simply Nature na yan.
2019, I was being diagnosed a cancer of my uterus. So I was shocked. Sabi ko, bakit nagkaroon ako ng ganito? Samantalang hindi ako mahilig sa pagkain. I'm sorry, basura. Started the tablet and then the powder. Tinry ko din yung yung tawag dito.
Gel?
Yeah, yung gel. Yes. It's really good. After 2 months ng aking therapy and taking PPARs, sabi ni doktora, magpa-laboratory ka na. So, nung nagpa-laboratory na ako, praise God, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, lahat normal. To God be the glory. Salamat sa Diyos. Sa 2 months ko po ng aking pag-take ng PPARs, ako po ay cancer-free.
But if you combine all of this, then they found that the breast cancer cell proliferation went down by more than 80%.
80%. That is from not much effect to zero effect to 80%.
Yes,
that is quite amazing. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Simply Healed. Good to see you again, Dr. Jansen.
Hi, Sean. Hello, everyone. Happy to be here again.
And we are here still again in our new venue. All right. I hope you like this setting. We feel very comfortable.
Yes, I
here.
really like this this venue that you have.
Yeah. So tonight's episode is a must not miss episode. Right. It's very, very, very interesting and yet very, very short. So we've been talking about. We are one of the programs that have natural solutions, but we also talk about drugs. We talk about the science behind the drugs so that cancer patients like yourself, you're not forced to choose, right? Only drugs or only natural. Because sometimes, it's quite common that if you go and see, or if you talk to a friend who's pro-natural, they will be pro-natural all the way, no in between. And the ones that want to do drugs, just go for conventional all the way. But on our program, we provide you the facts and the information from both sides so you can pick and choose the best of both worlds. Because in your fight against cancer, everything that can give you another 10%, another 15% is just going to add up to you successful in your fight against cancer. All right, today we're going to talk about, Doc, what are we going to talk about?
We're going to be talking about the 10 hallmarks of cancer, okay, and how we deal about this.
This
okay?
is so interesting as Doc was talking to me. Why? Because, when we talk about chemotherapy drugs, we talk about immunotherapy drugs, the doctors and patients, we are familiar with the name, right? I take this drug, I take cisplatin, I take oxaliplatin. But we seldom understand that the drugs are classified into 10 different strategies. There are 10 different angles, general angles that these drugs use to attack your cancer. And the exciting thing is that if you know the 10 directions to attack cancer, the question is, can we do the same with natural products? And today we're going to answer that in today's program.
Yes, okay. So first, let me introduce you to the 10 hallmarks of cancer. Okay, so take a look at this image. Okay, so if you read all this, big words. Okay, but the general idea is, how does cancer grow? Okay, so number one, something is pushing it to multiply. Number two, something is reducing its capability to die. Okay, and behind this are genetic problems. You have your mutations, you have your genetic instabilities, you have your inability of the genome to repair itself. All of this, and these 10 hallmarks, these 10 factors of cancer proliferating, of cancer being there, we have drugs that target specifically these 10. Okay, that's why when you go for a chemotherapy, it's not just one chemotherapy. It's usually a cocktail of chemotherapy.
A cocktail
of
chemotherapy.
Okay? So it is similar to how we would approach cancer naturally. Okay? And how you should approach cancer in general as well. So don't just focus on one treatment. Use different treatment modalities to target cancer because, okay, take a look at this list.
Wow.
Quite exhaustive. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is just a proof that we have phytonutrients or plant antioxidants that can target the same 10 hallmarks of cancer. Okay? But there's a caveat behind this. Okay? So, this is a study that showed, okay, that what would these individual compounds or would these individual nutrients work in managing cancer, reducing its growth, killing of cancer cells, or would a combination of these different compounds will be more effective? Okay, and the scientists used these six. These six are just
Very common.
Very common.
Because I recognize curcumin.
Curcumin, yes.
I recognize resveratrol.
Yes,
That's something
yes.
we always find in the health food
Supplement store. Yes,
even
exactly.
isoflavone.
Yes.
That's a word that we're quite familiar with.
Yes, and usually you can buy this in single bottles. One word isoflavone, one word curcumin, one word resveratrol. Okay. So
does this mean you have to go to the health supplement store and buy like 10 different
10
supplements?
different. Actually, you can, but it would be.
But there's a better solution.
There's a better solution. it's really very impractical for you to buy each and every one of this, okay?
And it may not be effective.
It may not be effective, which is actually what the researchers found out because they studied this in breast cancer cells. No?
Okay.
So they used the individual compounds, individual phytonutrients, then they checked, no? Okay, would genistein be effective in killing breast cancer cells? Genistein, by the way, is from soy. Would resveratrol be effective in killing cancer cells? Would curcumin be effective? Resveratrol came from the grape skin.
Grape skin of red grapes.
Actually, Simply Nature PPAR Plus
Yes,
tablets has
the
this.
PPAR Plus tablets have resveratrol.
Yes, there's a specific reason why they included it in there, okay? Curcumin came from turmeric.
Yes.
Okay, so these are the active biochemical compounds that are known to have this effect. So they studied each of this, and they found out that it didn't have any effect on the cancer cells. Quite surprisingly.
So that means, we always hear things like, oh, take curcumin, it's good for cancer. And if you only take curcumin,
won't work. Won't work. Okay.
Okay.
But if you combine all of this, then they found that the breast cancer cell proliferation went down by more than 80%.
80%. That is from not much effect to zero effect to 80%.
Yes,
that is
quite
amazing.
It's quite a huge jump.
Yeah.
They also found that it can stop migration and
Metastasis.
Invasion, metastasis.
Again, cancer kills by metastasis. You seldom hear of cancer patients who did not metastasize and died. In fact, many of them live a very, very long life. Like, for example, prostate cancer, right? If it stays, because it's a slow-growing cancer, it stays in one location, doesn't spread. And if you are stage 1 prostate cancer, you'll be surprised and shocked. Your uncle will tell you, you have cancer, prostate? Don't worry, let's just wait and see. That is not what a cancer patient is expecting to hear. Wait and go home, wait and see.
Yes,
right?
you observe, right?
That highlights that if you can stop your cancer from spreading from the primary site, your chances of survival is very much improved. So this is a concept that all cancer patients should understand. You should have a discard day. You should have an approach that also minimizes the chances of your cancer spreading. So that's a really good tip from Dr. Jansen, that from this research, they actually trial, they actually found that when you mix all this natural,
it will work better.
It will work better, and it actually prevents the spread of cancer.
Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, even if we are saying this, that hey, natural treatments work on the same factors where the chemo drugs work on, right? You should still consider both. Okay, because
why?
we have immune evasion. Okay, the cancer cells can evade the immune system. The cancer cells can develop drug resistance. But if you use a combination of this, then it will be more effective.
Yeah,
it's actually
it's like they turn left, they see Pacquiao.
Yeah.
If they turn right, they see Mayweather. Right? So no matter where they turn, they'll get a knockout
yes.
punch. Right?
So these factors, though, when used together, it will make the drug therapies work better. And it also, some of the chemo drugs can actually make these natural compounds work better as well.
Yes, and some natural compounds like PPAR, the compounds found in our natural PPAR tablets actually make chemotherapy more effective.
Yes, so they work in synergy.
So Doc, I think now that we know, you showed us a chart earlier, the 10 windows. So this is the 10 different factors or hallmarks of cancer. So you have 10 different strategies to attack cancer. And we show you in the chart that these are the drugs that for each of this strategy. And when you go for chemotherapy, you don't just take one, you take a cocktail, so that even your chemotherapy is not attacking from only one strategy, it's multiple strategies. And we found out that actually in nature, you have all these phytonutrients
already packed for you.
No, guys, I want you to take note. We didn't say vitamins or minerals. We said phytonutrients. Phytonutrients are nutrients found only
in plants.
And to specific plants categories. So it's not the same as going to your GNC or your healthy options and getting vitamin D, vitamin E.
Exactly.
No, it's not that. You can see all these cancer-acting agents are phytonutrients, plant nutrients unique to certain plants. So Doc, here is the thing. When we meet an onco, and we want to take supplements to have a natural approach to attacking these 10 pathways, oncos are reluctant. Why are oncos reluctant?
Number one, of course, they might be afraid that these phytonutrients or these supplements might have interaction with the drug therapies that they are giving you. Okay, that is the number one cause of concern for of oncos, because you wouldn't want your patient to suffer, right? I mean, you are already giving the patient drug therapies that are quite expensive, and of course, you do not want them to take something that might
have an adverse effect, or make it, or neutralize it.
Yes, or neutralize the
sayang, you spend so much money and pain.
Sayang. So that is why oncos are quite reluctant in this approach. But once oncos have gained knowledge about this, study this, of course they would be more open.
But again,
these kinds of treatments.
But again, it's going to be very unfair for the oncos to go and check if this brand of resveratrol is natural. They're not here to endorse different brands of products, because every day you have so many brands. So, which is why I want to encourage everybody. First thing you do is, if you're a cancer patient, go for a consult with Dr. Jansen or a lifestyle medicine practitioner like Dr. Jansen, who specializes in cancer, because so that you can identify what fruits and vegetables contain the phytonutrients and what kind of recipes or what kind of vegetables and fruit combinations you should eat every day, so that whether you're going for chemo or not, you're still attacking these 10 pathways. And because the protocol that Dr. Jansen is going to prescribe to you is not different brands of supplements.
Yes.
He's going to tell you, eat carrots, eat broccoli. No oncologist will be worried that his patient is eating broccoli. All right, so this is a very safe, very integrative, I guess, and very complementary approach to both having conventional and natural at the same time. And Doc, I think I can see the questions. People are asking you what they should eat already.
Yes.
So before we go to AMA, I just want to give an assurance. Simply Nature PPARs is 100% natural, and we are whole food, plant-based whole food. So it's not like we are an extract, we are the whole thing. So you get all the phytonutrients. And because we understand the concerns of oncologists, we have actually tested our products on chemotherapy drugs, like the most common ones, cisplatin and oxaliplatin. If you are cancer patients, there's 80% chance that that's the two drugs in your cocktail. Right? We've actually tested it with chemotherapy drugs. Right? We've also tested it on many cancer types, from liver cancer, breast cancer, to lung cancer. We specifically tested all these things so that you can be confident and that you can be comfortable. That fears that oncos have, that, hey, this supplement you're taking, is it tested? Does it have contraindication with chemotherapy drugs? Well, we actually did those tests so that you will be confident and you can rest assured that this will not harm you or have adverse effects to your current treatment, but in fact would support and give you even better results. So without further ado, Doc, people are asking you what they can eat already. All right,
Yes,
let's go to all the Ask Me Anything segment.
Webinar brought to you by Simply Nature. We are now in the AMA, or what we call the Ask Me Anything portion. By All right. Okay. Once again, we are now in the AMA, or Ask Me Anything questions. Questions are very much welcome. All right. So without further ado, I'd like to call on the two gentlemen who will answer all our questions for tonight's webinar entitled 10 Hallmarks of Cancer. First off, with our CEO of Simply Nature, Mr. Sean Lim, and of course, our lifestyle medicine doctor, Dr. Jansen Calalan. Good evening, Sir Sean, and good evening, Doc Jansen.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Sheila. Doc.
Hello everyone, good evening Sheila, good evening to all. Glad to see you again here tonight.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's segment that we talked about 10 hallmarks of cancer. Isn't it interesting that the way chemotherapy approach fighting cancer is not as direct and simple as like we just punch cancer, right? It's not as direct as, yes, it's toxic, it attacks the cancer cells, but there are actually specific pathways or directions that you can attack the cancer. And it's great to learn that naturally from the foods that you eat, you can actually also attack cancer in the same manner. And I still remember the most important thing during my conversation with Dr. Jansen is that you cannot just eat one supplement.
Yes.
You know, and chemotherapy is not just one drug, it's always a cocktail. And the same is with food supplements as well. It's a whole lifestyle, right? You have some key ones like Simply Nature PPARs that activate on the DNA level. Transcription factors activate the PPAR pathways, which is really at the genetic level. But then you still need all these good lifestyle, eating the mixture of vegetables and fruits, and maybe even other natural supplements, and for you to have that total effect. So yeah, let's dive into the questions today.
All right. So for the first question for today, all right, coming from Ms. Vange, all right, what is the usual protocol that you give for cancer patients with stage 3?
Oh.
Okay. For stage 3 cancers, no? But I need to ask you what type of cancer it is as well. But typically, I prescribe PPARS liquid. Okay, so PPARS liquid should be, how do you take PPARS liquid? It's 1 vial, once a day, upon waking up, on an empty stomach. Okay, however, I may increase the number of vials per day depending on the status of your body. If you are quite frail, you are, quite sick, then the amount of vials I can increase up to 3 a day. However, if you're quite healthy, you can function well, then 1 vial a day would be enough already. Okay?
Doc, as a follow-up question for a stage 3 cancer patient, in your mind, you talk about 10 hallmarks of cancer, but in your mind, what's the strategy? What's the things that you're trying to achieve when you meet a stage 3 cancer patient?
Okay, so number 1 is to prevent further metastasis. Okay, so immediately you have to change your diet. Okay, because food can stop the growth of cancer. All right. Number 2, you have to undergo the necessary conventional treatments like surgery, chemotherapy, radiation therapy if you are a candidate, immunotherapy if you are a candidate. Okay, so with this, especially with radiation therapy and chemotherapy, there will be side effects. So we also need to anticipate the side effects that you might experience. So PPARs can also help. I usually, before you even go into those treatments, I will already put you on PPAR so that to prepare your body for the chemo and radiation therapy. Okay?
Yeah, so it's very important when you are undergoing a treatment that you understand what's the reason or the logic or the idea, the discarte, the strategy behind your treatment. So as Dr. Jansen said, for stage 3 cancer patients, priority number 1 is to quickly strengthen the patient as much as possible because your cancer has already spread. If you are also weak, if you are not able to eat, if you're not able to walk, Dr. Jansen always encourages cancer patients to exercise. It's really, really important, right? That could mean walking with a walking stick. Yeah, but you got to be walking, moving, your lymphatic system so be active. So all that is part of the strategy. And then, of course, conventional treatments like chemotherapy. A lot of patients want to go all natural, especially even when they are late stage. Actually, that's something that's quite difficult because natural therapies usually take time. That is really true. Even if you take Simply Nature PPARs, even with the liquid, you see great results like in 24 hours, something like that, right? You start to feel strong. But if you go for chemotherapy, next 5 minutes, you
You'll
feel it already.
Yes.
So you know that. So when you're in late stage cancer, time is not your friend. That is why if you are eligible, if your onco really says you can take chemo, you should take chemo, or you should take radiation, that is you have to understand. The advantage is that it will work fast, and normally people are afraid of that because they don't know how to manage the side effects of chemotherapy. But with Dr. Jansen and Simply Nature, you can really handle your side effects well. So this becomes a very powerful tool for you. All right. So yes. All right. Next question, Sheila.
Okay. All right. So for the next question coming from Ms. Chatwon, may I ask what could be the white line on my stool?
Okay, that could be anything. I need to know what your condition is. So that white line may be something that you ate, or it can be pus as well.
If it's pus, what are some of the concerns?
If it's pus, then you might be experiencing something, probably infection. Another one is inflammation. Colon cancer might also be a possibility, but
don't scare yourself
don't
yet.
scare yourself. But pus in the stool, no, it's very uncommon for colon cancer. Okay, it's usually blood. So that white line could be anything, to be honest. Okay, so I need to talk to you to get more details in order for me to be able to point out what could it be. Okay.
I saw a question by Gigi, and I saw our regular Lily, saying same. Yeah, I think it's wonderful to see that our viewers are building a community, encouraging one another. So to all the new viewers, I just welcome you that you're not the only one fighting this tough situation, cancer. All right, and there are many success stories. So you're in the right place tonight.
Yes, you are. Okay. All right. So for another question coming from Miss Lily from the Philippines, one of our regular. By the way, just before we go to the next question, I'd like to shout out or greet, of course, our avid viewers of our Simply Healed webinar, Miss Lilibeth Palma, Lily Neo, of course, of Malaysia, Miss the Bay husband, always watching as well. Edna and Miss Edna Aveo. Okay. And of course our new viewer, Miss Jeanette Laprades. Welcome and thank you for watching us tonight. Okay. Alright, so for another question from Miss Lily, how can PPARS help cancer patients? Or how does PPARS work for cancer?
Okay, it can help in a lot of ways. Okay, so what we have just mentioned a while ago is to mitigate or to lessen the side effects of the chemo, the radiation therapy. If you undergo those procedures, your immune system can go down, you can develop anemia as well. So PPARS can help protect your bone marrow so that your bone marrow can still produce the adequate amounts of white blood cells and red blood cells. So you won't be anemic or your immune system won't go down as much. Okay? Another one is to make your body just feel stronger. Okay? So why do you feel stronger when you take PPARS? It's because it has an effect on the metabolism. It maximizes fatty acid metabolism. It makes your insulin, it makes your body more sensitive to insulin so that your body just uses energy much more efficiently. Okay? Another thing is, remember, I usually tell you, no, if you undergo chemotherapy and radiation therapy, it's not just the healthy cells, it's not just the cancer cells are dying, okay? It's also the healthy cells. So in order for your body to be ready for the next session, okay, Simply Nature PPARS can help you as well because PPARS can promote cellular differentiation, or in other words, it can help cell healing. So the healthy cells would recuperate much faster. Okay, so those are some of the ways. There are more, but those are just some of the ways on how PPARS can help cancer patients. Okay.
And I have a good update from one of my personal referrals to Dr. Jansen. So this this referral to Dr. Jansen is actually someone with breast cancer, and the person has actually finished, I think, at least 6 or 7 cycles of chemotherapy. And then she started on PPAR powder extract and tablets, right? So after 3 or 4 days, I asked her how was it. So she's so happy because she said that normally she couldn't sleep. She has to take sleeping pills to sleep while she's on chemotherapy. So that just means that, but you know, to everyone listening, she looks fantastic. She doesn't look like a cancer patient. She did shave her head, but that is more preemptive, right? So that you don't see hair dropping. But she was not thin. She had a very good color. She had energy. She looked very well, to the point that I almost was not sure how much stronger she can be taking our PPAR extract. I mean, she already looks fantastic. I asked her if she had any real strong side effects from chemotherapy, and she's like, no, and she's smiling and positive. But you know, so she did share with me that she couldn't sleep. Then I realized how tiring it must be not to be able to sleep. So after taking PPARs, she said she could sleep like 10, 12, 15 hours straight the first few days. So wow, so that means she was really tired actually, you know, so she's just very strong. And now more than a week later, she told me something so encouraging. She mentioned that while she was on chemotherapy, her menses did not come, didn't have any period for the first 4 cycles. But after taking PPARs, her menstrual cycle came. So so this is not saying PPAR causes menstrual cycle, right? It just goes to show how much it restores your body to its normal healthy function. And that is so important, not just for a cancer patient, but you know, for everyone. So that's just how great the protocols that Dr. Jansen gives, and how great the Simply Nature PPAR protocols also work for those who are fighting cancer. So I pray that this same effect you will see in your own journey as you fight cancer. It may be different, but it will all be similar in the sense that your body is just getting stronger and getting well.
Right. Thank you, Sir Sean. That's very, I just want to quickly share the feedback that Sir Sean just shared with us is not something that's new, because we do get a lot of that kind of feedback wherein our patients say, my friends say that it looks like I didn't went through chemo.
Yeah, you look normal, right? Yeah.
Yes. So there you go. So
and there was a latest one on COVID. Someone wrote about COVID, right? Is that one of your clients, Sheila?
It's actually Miss Jansen, Miss Snow Dragon, who recently had a COVID, but easily recuperated and also healed and cured.
She said 3 days, all her symptoms, everything started to go down the moment she started to eat tablets. I think it was tablets. Yeah, actually we have one of our doctors, he deals with some really high profile patients, which that's why even I don't know who they are. I just know that they're high profile. All right, and that they deal with serious COVID patients, and for him, he doesn't prescribe tablets for COVID. He prescribes liquid extract. Wow. So these are really high profile and probably very well-to-do clients, and they have amazing, great results. So that just goes to show, again, many of our cancer patients ends up that their entire family starts eating tablets after the whole process because they saw how good it was for their health. So I want to encourage everyone, that the same will happen to you and your family.
There you go. Thank you, Sir Sean. Thank you, Dr. Jansen. All right, another question coming from Ms. Anastasia. If the result of BRCA test is positive, can PPAR help to improve the conditions and help turn the result to become negative?
Oh, that's a very good question. It's a very good question.
what is BRCA first,
Okay,
Dr. Jansen?
let me put this into context so that everybody understands, no? So BRCA is a gene, okay? So that is the we have two types of BRCA. So we BRCA1 and BRCA2. So those two genes control for the growth of breast cancer cells. So BRCA1 and BRCA2, if that is mutated, then you have a very high risk of developing breast cancer later on. And that gene can be passed on throughout the generations. No, so far, no, I haven't seen a patient wherein currently, right now, BRCA positive, then later on it became negative. Okay, I haven't. However, this is the thing. Lifestyle or the way we live basically, no, can turn on and off genes. So, depending on how we live, our genes will adjust. Some genes will be turned on, some genes will be turned off. Okay, so BRCA1 and BRCA2 might be one of those genes. However, it hasn't been proven yet. Okay, but in theory, it is a possibility that this can be turned off. Okay.
If it's turned off, you are still positive for the test.
No.
Oh, you were
that
actually,
is negative.
You become negative.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Okay.
So if BRCA1 and BRCA2 is turned on, that is positive. Okay, so that is the one that allows the breast cells to proliferate unregulated. Okay, so if it's BRCA1, BRCA2 turned off, that means it's negative. Okay, so that is how it is. No, it's a possibility. So another angle here is it might not turn negative because the gene is already there. The genetic sequence is already there. However, we can actually block its effect so that it doesn't manifest. Okay, so how do we do that? It's also through lifestyle. Okay, the food that you eat, if you exercise, these things. Okay, there are no drugs that can do such a thing. Okay, there are no medications that can do such a thing. It's only through the food that you eat, how you live. All right. The next question is, can PPARs do such a thing? The thing is, again, we still do not know. But in theory, it is a possibility. Because PPARs, the way PPARs act, PPARs is it's a nuclear receptor inside our genes. If that gets activated, there are genetic transcription factors that gets activated, okay, that the body runs or the cell runs through. So once these genetic sequences gets activated, then some proteins will be turned on, some proteins will be turned off as well. Okay, so it might have a similar effect. But again, it has to be confirmed by scientific studies. However, in theory, it is a possibility.
It is a possibility.
Okay.
And also for Anastasia, for this question, and to all the other viewers, it's just important to realize, you have people who live very healthy lifestyle and then still get cancer. Does this mean that you shouldn't live a healthy lifestyle? Right? That's some people become fatalistic. I might as well eat all the steak that I want, drink all the alcohol that I want. No, that's not true. Okay. There are many factors in which you develop what's that called, cancer. However, the healthier you are, the better your chances are if this cancer recurs. Correct? If you have no metabolic syndromes, your body is in a better position to take any type of treatment. So for all cancer patients and those in remission, the best strategy you can ever have is to be healthy, to be energetic. Because come what may, you will be able to handle it and handle it well, and your chances to live a long, successful life is improved. And of course, along the way, you enjoy all the benefits of looking good, feeling healthy, being able to eat good food because your blood sugar, everything is normal. So keep up with this supplementation strategy, the protocols that Dr. Jansen gave you, especially for lifestyle adjustments, and you will do well. And you will do well no matter what happens. whether it is your fault or not, whether it's because of lifestyle or genetic, if cancer ever manifests, you just be in a position to fight it off successfully. You know? I have a Lola, Filipina Lola. She is still alive and kicking and very strong. She's, I think, 85 already.
Wow.
Okay. She had 2 bouts of leukemia, and hers is aggressive leukemia. She outlived her oncologist. So.
Oh yeah. Everyone take note. Leukemia in an older age patient is usually aggressive.
Yes. And the moment she started on PPARs, she had a heart condition, arrhythmia, uneven heartbeat, and she was just sharing with me over the last 5 years, her heart function moved from 40% up to 70%. So as she grew older, her heart function improved. Yeah, and my Lola is very cute, right? She's not my blood relative. She's someone I adopted as a grandma here. So every like 4 or 5 weeks, she will text me, grandson, I love you very much. I'm out of tablets. And then I will just send her, she's my Lola, what can I do? I'll just send her 5 bottles of Simply Nature Pipa tablets. And I'm so glad that this makes such a huge difference to her life, right? And she's a cancer survivor, and she's 85 plus now, and she's really, really, really strong. So that's my advice for everyone. Yeah.
Hi Lola, and God bless you.
Yeah. Anyway, her name, she's always happy that I share her testimony. She's actually Dr. Angie Domondo. She's actually very respected among the integrative doctors. She's one of the first, she's occupational medicine. She's also one of the first to practice integrative medicine in Philippines. So yeah, great testimony.
Very sweet.
Yeah,
Lola.
I like it when you outlive your oncologist. I think that's quite an achievement.
It will be one of our bragging rights.
Yeah, it's a bragging right. I outlived you, I outlived you.
Alright, okay. By the way, I just want to greet our viewers from our YouTube, because as you know, we are also simulcasting live streaming on our YouTube. Welcome, and thank you also for watching our Simply Healed webinar. Okay, all right, which is why I am going to read one of the questions coming from our YouTube channel. Can a person which is always stressed get cancer?
Oh,
Coming
wow.
from Miss Dolly.
Okay, before you answer that, Doc,
Okay.
I want to share with you, in my younger days, I used to work for this company called Merrill Lynch. It's now part of Bank of America. It's one of the top investment houses. So I came from the banking industry, right? So in our office, we have like 3 or 4 leukemia cancer patients. So statistically speaking, that's super high in a single office. So without Doc Jansen even saying anything, I'm going to tell you now from real life experience, because our jobs are terribly, terribly stressful. Yeah, stress can cause cancer.
Yes,
Doc,
definitely.
the medical answer.
The medical answer. Okay, so this is how it comes about. No, well, stress is multifactorial, but mainly it comes from our day-to-day experiences. Okay, so the effect of stress on our body is inflammatory in nature. Okay, so it's not really too high of an inflammation. Okay, it's low-grade inflammation, but you have it for a very long period of time. Okay, and if you have that for a very long period of time, the chances that your DNA would be damaged is quite high. It would be bombarded with a lot of damaging byproducts. Now, of course, when your DNA gets damaged, naturally it will repair itself, no? And the more it repairs itself, then the chances of an error in the repair would be greater, because the more times you repaired, right, the more chances you get an error. Also, the corrector, okay, or the auditor of your body, the one that corrects the error, can also mutate. So if that mutates, no, the error corrector has an error or malfunctions, okay, then that would be a problem. Then that it won't be able to correct the DNA anymore. So that is when cancer arises. Okay, so that is in simplest terms, no, how stress can be related to the onset of cancer.
So yeah, another common field where occupation where people have a lot of cancer are, for example, auditors, people who work in accounting firms who are the auditors, because extremely stressful during tax audit seasons. They work around the clock and very, very stressful.
Yeah, the medical field.
Yeah, medical field.
Yeah, those who work night shifts, especially call center agents, those
Yes.
who work in the BPO industry, right?
I think it's easy to understand what stress does to your body. Imagine if you have a car and you drive at top speed all the time. You're just going to wear down everything in your car, from your car engine to your ball bearings to your tire to everything. So there's a lot of constant stress, right? You can't just rev your car engine, floor the pedal without taking a break.
Yes.
Right?
And imagine that happens to office workers. Imagine what the miners, construction workers, those who works in the
Shipping industry.
those who handle chemicals.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yes.
what the risks.
Yeah, and they do have a
experience.
lot of cancer. They do have a lot of cancer in those industries. So it's just the same case, right? If you're a Formula One car, if you're a race car, you don't use normal petrol. Your engine oil is not normal engine oil also. It's going to be the high performance engine oil. So if you do live a stressful lifestyle, I mean, it's easier said than done, right? You can't say have less stress. You can't. It's your job. Maybe you're also putting your children to college and the school fees are high. So you have to maintain, stay in the job that you're in, and it's very stressful. So what can you do? It's great that you just follow the advice of Dr. Jansen on healthy lifestyle. Take Simply Nature PPA tablets. You can consider, if you're really, really stressed, have a consult with Dr. Jansen. See if you even need to take the more concentrated soft gels for just 1 or 2 months to make sure that everything is okay. But if not, at least maintain with the tablets, and then learn to really enjoy your weekends a little bit more. Make sure you poo-poo. I cannot stress that enough. Make sure every day you poo-poo. All right, gut health has got a lot to do with your mental health, and your mental health will affect back your physical health. So it's a vicious cycle. Once you get it positive, the cycle is very positive. There are a lot of people who can deal with stress very, very well, live long lives, very productive, because they are able to manage their stressful lifestyle well. So going to the CR every day, smooth poo-pooing is one indicator that you are handling stress well. All right, so make sure, if you need any advice, go for a consult with Dr. Jansen about this.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Sir Sean and Dr. Jansen. All right. Another question coming from Miss Barbara Bluza. Good evening, Doc. Can you help me? I have an endometrioid adenocarcinoma 1A. My doctor planned me on radiation. I'm waiting for the schedule. Thank you. Go for a consult.
You are quite lucky, endometrial cancer, especially stage 1A, is one of the cancers which has a very high cure rate. So I suggest you go for your radiation therapy. However, I'm sure you are also worried about the side effects. So yeah, PPAR's protocols would be very helpful for you. So please go for a consult. Okay.
Just for Miss Barbara, is our AD Pro promo still on?
Yes, up until October 31st.
Okay.
But let's have a talk with Dr. Jansen and let's see how can we figure out getting her with if we can still get her with a promo.
Okay, for Miss Barbara, I asked this because we actually have, if you're going to go for radiation therapy, depending on what type, will hers have the radiation burns or?
It might not be, because I think for endometrial cancer, she might undergo brachytherapy.
Oh, where they put the thing inside. All right.
They put the thing inside, but again, it depends on where the location of the tumor is. If the tumor is located somewhere deeper, then brachytherapy won't work. You would have to undergo external beam radiation therapy. So for external beam, your skin will get burned.
Okay, and why I brought this up because normally for radiation, those who go for radiation therapy, the doctors usually prescribe you just aloe vera to keep the place moisturized and cool. However, 80 Pro is something totally different mechanism. It's actually a probiotic that will actually keep your skin from being inflamed, and it will actually promote healing by restoring the microbiome that is destroyed every time you go for radiation. So this is one thing, and that we have a special promo now. If you get like extracts, I believe the 80 Pro is free. I think it's worth 2,700 pesos. So that's just a good deal. So if you were going to get the extract anyway, get it while you can still get the extra 80 Pro. So just take note of that for Barbara.
Yes, Barbara, I think we have a link posted here in the captions on how you can go for a consult. So please go to that link, then just follow the instructions so you can book an appointment, and then one of our healthcare specialists will reach out to you. Okay?
Oh, so the one that asked about the stressful life is Miss Lily Neo.
Dolly.
Yeah. Yes, Lily. The stressful life is a cause for cancer. You know, that's why your ability to manage stress is very important. You know, and another reason for cancer is bitterness. You know, if you're like, you hate someone, that causes the same kind of toxic chemicals being produced by your brain chemistry, and it stresses your body as well. All right, so heartaches, all these are emotional issues, especially bitterness, that internal anger. It does create chemicals in your body, right, secreted from your brain that actually stresses everything in your body. And if that persists for a long time, it's like the same as driving your car at full speed all the time. The engine will break down, right? It's overuse of the engine. As Doc Jansen says, if your body is stressed, it breaks down and repair, breaks down and repair. But every time you do that, there's a chance that when you repair, there's some errors, right?
Yes.
So if a normal person repair is this speed, like my hands, okay, versus a very stressful person. So if there's an error somewhere, it will quickly compound, and that's where, you know, cancer starts to develop. All right. Yeah.
And not only that, if you're stressed, just notice, if you're stressed, which foods do you prefer to eat?
Yeah, the wrong foods,
The
right?
wrong foods, right? I mean,
Every time
you know
you're stressed.
yourself. Come on, guys, come on. So no, you know yourself. You'd rather choose that pizza over that apple or banana, right?
Yeah. When you're stressed, you don't eat healthy.
Yes, you don't.
Right? Yeah.
Stress eating, yeah.
Those are one of the confounding factors.
Yeah.
Again,
So
for
if your whole life was
okay?
stressed, you probably had too much wrong foods as well. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that question, Miss Dolly, coming from our YouTube. She's our YouTube viewer.
Oh, it's the same question as Miss Lily Neo also.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So many people are wondering the same thing. Yes.
About stress. All right. Another question coming from Miss Janer Talia. What can you say about pterostilbene supplement?
Let me see.
Are you familiar? It's in the YouTube. She's one of our YouTube,
So YouTube,
viewers.
wait, let me see the comment.
This one.
Pterostilbene.
Pterostilbene. Okay, for a while, let me double
Let's-
check my resources.
Can
for
we
that.
go? Can you? While Dr. Jansen is
Yes.
checking, can we go to the next question?
Of course. All right. Okay. So another question. Okay. Coming from Miss James Jaya. Okay. How long does the cancer patient have to take PPARs? Is it 3 months or 6 months?
It depends. I usually prescribe 6 months, but I immediately request for imaging studies or tumor markers at the 3-month mark. Then proceed to the 6 months, then extend the protocol to 6 months depending on how the patient is performing.
So while Dr. Jansen is doing checking his resources for that question, let me elaborate on Dr. Jansen's
Yes, please.
answer. Okay, Dr. Jansen said that after 3 months he will request an imaging. So to everyone that's watching, especially our older viewers, what do we use diagnostics for? When do you go for a blood test or imaging test? When you want to change your protocol, right? When you want to adjust the dosage, when you want to try a new protocol. So every time we want to make a change in the way we treat the illness, right? That's when you do an imaging, so that you create a benchmark and you know the reason why you're changing your protocol. Okay, for that, a follow-up to that question, the extracts you would actually stop or taper down after 3 to 6 months, depending on your condition. But if finances is not an issue, okay, finances is not an issue, like for example, Dominic, is Dominic still on the extract, Sheila?
On powder.
How often?
On an everyday basis, sir.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, because
Lowered dosing.
yeah, because we're sponsoring Dominic. So Sheila doesn't have to worry, all right? So Dominic has been on PPAR's non-stop extract for how long now?
For after the chemotherapy, we are over 3 years in remission now.
Yeah, so so if finances are not an issue, you can take this as long as you want, all right? So why did I sponsor Dominic? Because number one, he's Sheila's son, and he's the first like cancer kid I saw up front. So it really touched my heart. And my goal for sponsoring Dominic all the way is I want to see Dominic do well in school. Right, I want to go all the way. So he's in full remission. Everything is clear. He's very hyperactive.
He's in school, grade 2.
Yeah. Okay. So there's no downside, but you know, on the very least, once you are in remission, the tablets are sufficient. Okay, you can have options to like once a quarter or twice a year you do the extracts just to give your body extra oomph. Okay, and yeah, that's some of the ways you can approach it. But for those who have budget constraints, okay, rest assured, anywhere between 3 to 6 months, and once the cancer fight is over, if you can, you know, stay on the extract 1 extra month. Why? Just to strengthen your immune system, to clean up all the residual cancer cells that might have spread in your body, which are really small and easy to kill at this point. Okay, and after that, keep a healthy lifestyle for the next 2 or 3 years at least, right? Don't let the cancer come back. You know, it was so shocking. I just did a taping with Dr. Jansen. Some recurrence rate, I mean, just for breast cancer. Breast cancer is easily treated right now today. But the recurrence, that means 1 in 3 breast cancer patients, the breast cancer actually comes back. 1 in 3, wow, that's a pretty high chance. For ovarian cancer, it's actually 85%. 8 out of 10 ovarian cancer patients the cancer will actually come back. So don't just let go or think that the battle is done the moment your first bout of cancer is completed. Okay, be very mindful that the second reoccurrence of your cancer is very likely if you do nothing. How likely is it? It's so statistically possible that in Singapore, all health insurance covers you for 2 bouts of cancer. That means the insurance company is so sure that you get cancer not once but twice. All right, so that's how dangerous it is to think that your fight for cancer is a one-time thing. So don't just stop all the good things that you're doing once you're declared cancer-free after your first battle with cancer. You gotta keep on alert, continue to learn how to live healthily, keep up on some basic supplements, all right? And make sure you cross the 5-year mark. And even then, you gotta watch yourself. I managed to speak to a cancer patient who has been cancer-free for like 20 years. And yet, she still came to our office to find out about PPAR tablets. So it was not our PPAR protocols that helped her defeat cancer 20 years ago. But up to today, 20 years later, she is still looking for anything that can help her stay cancer-free. And she successfully stayed cancer-free for, right now, it will be close to 25, 26 years. Okay, so that's amazing. That just goes to show you what is the proper way to look at your fight with cancer. Once you have it, you know, make sure that you are mindful of it for the rest of your life, all right? But live in a way that you just naturally won't get it again. Right. Yeah, Doc, you ready for the answer?
Yeah, I'm ready for terostilbene.
Okay.
I have good news and bad news for you. Okay. Terostilbene is a antioxidant. It's a very potent antioxidant, which is a derivative of resveratrol. Okay, so terostilbene is you can say like it's a super resveratrol. Okay, so as we all know, no, resveratrol is one of the antioxidants which is quite good for the heart. Okay, and it also has anti-cancer properties. It can kill cancer cells as well, both in a petri dish in the lab test, and also inside the body. Okay, if you take in pterostilbene or resveratrol, okay, it can also help fight cancer cells. Now, the problem here is one of the adverse effects of pterostilbene is it increases LDL, or your bad cholesterol. Okay, so LDL is the specific culprit that deposits cholesterol inside your blood vessels. Okay, so that is one of the problems of pterostilbene. However, another good news is pterostilbene is also a PPAR agonist. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is also a PPAR agonist. That's why it helps fight cancers. Okay, that's a specific reason. However, the trade-off is that it increases LDL cholesterol. That's the main problem. That is very problematic with pterostilbene. So, in my opinion, since it's just a super resveratrol. It's basically, it has the same effects, it has the same benefits as resveratrol. However, resveratrol does not increase LDL. So just settle with resveratrol. Anyway, you'll get the same benefit if you take in resveratrol versus pterostilbene. Okay?
And just for those of you who don't know, if you are taking our PPAR Plus tablets, we added grape skin polyphenols. So grape skin polyphenols include resveratrol. So again, back to the way we develop our products, we do try to make Simply Nature PPAR tablets the most basic. That means if there's only one supplement that you take, then this is the one that you will take. And because of that, we try to adhere to the principle that Dr. Jansen is also sharing with everyone. Don't take something that is only one.
Yes.
Right? You want to take the whole.
The whole.
So we didn't just add resveratrol to Simply Nature PPAR tablets. We added grape skin polyphenols. So it's a mixture of many types of polyphenols. Resveratrol is one of them. So that is a more complete way to get your nutrients, because your body doesn't, just like today what we discussed in the earlier lecture part, there are 10 hallmarks of cancer, not 1, 10, right? So it's not just one substance, one direction. You want to have the whole. Even if there is a major one, you still want to activate the other hallmarks, the other avenues. So in your supplementation also, you don't want to just activate only one thing. You do still want to activate across the board, because it works better this way.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Sir Sean and Dr. Jansen. Okay. All right. I just want to greet Miss Rizalyn. Thank you for joining us again tonight. All right. And of course, I said Miss Lily. Okay. Another question coming from Miss Lilibeth. What are the best foods that can help prevent cancer, and what foods do we need to avoid?
Okay, foods that are very strong in preventing cancer: broccoli, mushrooms, nutritional yeast, turmeric, forgot the food. Soy foods. Okay, soy foods. There are actually quite a lot. That's why I'm. There are a lot. What else? Garlic and onions are also one. Lemon, apple. But if you're going to eat apple, you should include the skin. Vegetables. What else? Green leafy vegetables like your kale, your spinach as well. Root crops like sweet potato or kamote in Tagalog. What else? Legumes. I mentioned soy chickpeas are quite good. For your nuts, walnuts are the best in combating cancer.
Oh, walnuts are the best.
Yes,
All
walnuts
right.
are the best, followed by almonds, pecans.
Oh, by
almonds.
almonds.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Okay. For the whole grains, red rice would be the best for combating cancer. Those are some of the foods.
Okay, do remember when Dr. Jansen mentioned if like for example you love almonds, it doesn't mean that you eat 1 cup of almonds. Okay, then it will not be good for you. Okay, because when we say eat nuts and things like that, in mild moderation, I think a fistful would be sufficient. All right.
But again, it depends, no? It depends. So you have to go for a consult.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is just a general recommendation for everyone. Okay. But if you are not everybody, I mean you have a special condition, then better to go for a consult. So I can make the proper recommendation because not everyone. Although I prescribe nuts to all my cancer patients, but the amount varies.
You know, I like the list of foods that you recommended because I love onions, I love garlic, and I love mushrooms. You know, so. Eating mushroom pasta, the one in plain olive oil with garlic. Yeah, that's actually a nice dish that is cancer helpful for cancer patients. Yeah.
Yes, and having said all this, right, for those people who are preventing cancer as well.
Yeah, so eat garlic. Yeah, you like garlic?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot to answer the second question. What foods to avoid? Okay, foods to avoid are generally all animal food products. Because animal protein, regardless of where it is sourced, regardless if it's organic or non-organic, the body will not know. As long as it's a protein that came from animals, then it can promote cancer growth. Okay, so that would be your pork, beef, lamb, okay, your chicken, your fish, your seafoods, no, all types of seafoods, shrimp, squid.
Shellfish is terrible for anybody with cancer. Huh? So don't eat lobster, prawns, crabs. These are really terrible.
Yes, because heavy metals found in the ocean, which came from our factories, accumulate in those animals. Okay, so
like oysters as well, right? Yeah, really terrible.
What else? Eggs, dairy, especially cow's milk or any milk that came from animals. Okay, so avoid them because milk has a lot of animal estrogen. It has animal estrogen. Okay, it is impossible not to find estrogen in there. Okay, so don't drink them because estrogen, if you have breast cancer, which is hormone sensitive, estrogen or animal estrogen can accelerate its growth. Okay. What else? Processed foods in general, no? Whether or not it's plant-based food that is processed or animal-based food which is processed, avoid those because those can accelerate the growth of cancer. Also, oils, plant-derived oils and animal-derived oils, avoid them. Okay, cooking oils, okay, especially if you use them in cooking, avoid them because oils can promote metastasis. You do not want that. Okay, so those are the list of foods that you should be avoiding. Okay?
And those of you whose doctors are recommending, for example, you eat meat because you're losing weight, so you might feel like, why did my doctor tell me to eat meat and now, Dr. Jansen, you say don't eat meat? Again, it's because your uncle is not a lifestyle medicine doctor. He is just concerned that you're losing weight, so he wants you to have protein intake. So I'd like to recommend to you what my wife does. My wife is on the thinner side. She has the blessing that I really want, which is no matter how much she eats, she doesn't put on much weight. I eat a little bit and I'll put on weight. So, you know, that's why we are married to one another. Okay, but what she does is that she gets plant-based protein shakes. I think 10 years ago, very hard to find. 5 years ago, not so hard to find.
Correct.
Today, so easy to find plant-based protein shakes. Okay, you just go to the same health store as where you buy whey protein, you know, where the bodybuilders like to buy whey protein, and you can find plant-based ones. The mixture is usually green peas, soy, soya bean. Usually is these two are the main ingredients, and they come in chocolate flavor as well. So you can substitute your Milo. So she drinks her protein shake hot.
Wow.
Okay, you know, normally when people drink protein shake, they put it cold. She drinks it hot, so it's her replacement of Milo. So I tasted it. It's pretty nice flavor. It's just that, you know, Milo is so sweet, so we're very used to sweet. It's pretty good. It tastes chocolatey, rich full body because it's thicker than just water. So that's where you get your protein, and you can take it safely knowing that it won't promote cancer.
All right. Thank you, Sir Sean. Thank you. All right. Since you mentioned something about soy, there's a question here. Doc, is it true that soy milk can increase the uric acid?
Yes, okay. But there is a but, no? There's a but to this. Okay, if you compare the plant foods and its effect on raising uric acid levels, legumes or your beans and nuts are the more notorious ones. Okay, so if you compare them to your grains,
So that's why people with
your-
gout are told
Yes,
not to eat peanuts,
yes,
right? Yeah.
because it can raise uric acid levels. However, if you compare beans and nuts to meat products, the meat products, the seafoods, animal food products can increase uric acid much greater than the beans and the nuts. Okay, so for me, if you are someone who has very high uric acid levels, or if you are someone who has gout, I would advise you against eating beans and nuts temporarily. So what I would do is to help you decrease the uric acid levels first, control for the pain, control the gout. Once your uric acid is in the safe levels, then I reintroduce beans and nuts into your diet. Okay, because beans and nuts, as what I have just mentioned a while ago, are one of the mainstays in a plant-based diet, and it has a lot of anti-cancer fighting effects as well. The problem is the uric acid. Okay, if you have gout. Now, why do people blame beans and nuts as their triggers for
Uric acid.
the cause of gout,
Gout.
or increasing the uric acid as the cause, right? It's because people are so used to eating animal food products, they don't feel anything. Okay, so imagine you have this threshold level of pain, right? If you eat animal food products, your uric acid raises at this level. Just a little bit more, you will exceed that pain threshold, then you'll feel pain. However, since you are not eating often, no, you're not eating beans and nuts as often. It's just occasionally. So every time you eat animal food products, your uric acid increases here, okay, near the pain threshold level. However, during that day, you just ate your beans and your mongo and your
Peanuts.
nuts and your peanuts, and then you combine it with beer. Oh my gosh, that's so delicious, right? So at that time, with a little bit increase in uric acid, you feel the pain, okay, and you don't do it so often.
So you will
Right.
always think it's because
you
of the
blame
peanut.
the thing, the
Yeah.
peanut, the beans and the nuts. Okay,
But
so-
actually, it's your animal protein that is the main
Yes,
contributor,
okay,
right?
so avoid eating animal food products so that your uric acid will only increase this much. Okay, this is the pain threshold level, and uric acid only increases this much. You're way beyond the pain threshold levels. I mean, come on, I have been eating beans, legumes 3 times a day for 2 years. I haven't experienced any gout. My uric acid levels is around 4 or 5. I mean, that's quite low, right? 7 is the threshold level. So,
And for everyone else, I don't have cancer, but you know, I shared before, the moment I cross 70 kilograms, I will feel joint pains in my fingers when I wake up in the morning. And the reason why I cross 70 kilograms is not because I'm eating more vegetables, right? I cross 70 kilograms because I'm eating more meat and eating more milkshake, ice cream, chocolates, things like that. That's why my weight crosses the 70 mark. So it's true. It's really the animal protein products. And when I cross 70 kilograms because I drink too much milk, eat ice cream, chocolate, and things like that, my body tells me, because then I wake up in the morning and there are joint pains, right? And then what I do, I eat vegetables for the next 3-4 days. I lose some weight, and then my joint pains go away. So this is very practical, very clear that how much animal proteins really contribute to these joint pains. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you so much, Sir Sean. And right, another question. It's really good that we are discussing things about this now because we are on to a long weekend.
Christmas is coming also.
And also long weekend, this
Yeah,
coming weekend. Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of people will go out and do some fun things.
Yeah.
Okay, so watch out for your diet as well. Okay. Last question, I guess another question coming that has something to do with food. How about the use of coconut oil? Are you in favor with this?
Coconut oil is bad for you, okay? I am stating this now. Coconut oil is pure saturated fat. Saturated fat is one of the culprits of causing diabetes. It's also one of the culprits of promoting cancer growth, one of the culprits of raising cholesterol, one of the culprits of blockage of the arteries, one of the culprits of promoting metastasis. Okay, saturated fats. That is what you should be avoiding. Okay, so coconut oil is not good for you, no matter what mainstream media is saying. Okay, it is not. But if you compare coconut oil to butter, to lard, to margarine, then coconut oil would be
Better.
Okay, depends on to which you compare it to. However, if you compare coconut oil to no oil at all, then coconut oil is bad.
Okay, so I'm gonna take a more because Dr. Jansen came out very strong statement, right? Coconut, yeah. So basically, Doc's message is oil is really bad for you, especially if you're a cancer patient, right? So what you want to do during your treatment of cancer, learn to broil your food, steam your food. A lot of great recipes. Buy great cooking utensils. Mm-hmm. Because if you get one of those super expensive Salad Master frying pans made from surgical steel, you can fry without oil, and then it won't stick. It won't stick. It won't burn, right? So those are things that you can look into. So if you do have to use oil, use it very sparingly, and you do get plenty of oil from nuts, avocados, and so on and so forth. And I'm sure you will cheat here and there. Like seasoning, right? When you cook vegetables, you put a bit of sesame oil so that it tastes good. So definitely there will be sufficient oil in your diet. All right. So
and Doc Jansen is actually not advocating, but in favor of using air fryer, right?
yeah,
Air fryer.
Yeah.
Just if you miss the texture of fried foods, then just use air fryer.
yeah. If you really cannot take it, you can just take a brush and brush very lightly with just a little bit of like cooking oil.
Okay, since we already touched the topic, no, so it's inevitable. Okay, now if and when you use oil in your food, no, don't forget before you eat them, please drink a fiber supplement. Okay, like Cleansing Plus. It's to immediately increase the amount of fiber in your diet, so you won't absorb the oil.
You will bind the oil.
Yeah, it will bind the oil, so you don't get to absorb it, and it just flows much faster down your digestive tract. So the chances of it getting absorbed into your system substantially decreases. Okay, and if ever your system absorbs the oil, no, the amount will be just very minimal. Okay, remember, high fiber diet. Okay.
And I don't know, Doc, if you're familiar with this one, because this is a very Chinese thing. Chinese cuisine is always so oily.
Yes.
Yeah, but do you guys notice they serve free Chinese tea, right? Every time with Chinese dinners. There's a reason for it. I once had a lunch with Sheila and I made her drink like plain Japanese tea. Her reaction was, I said, what's wrong? Does it taste bad? She said, sir, no taste. I'm like, but do you know what? If you have oily hands, you try washing your hands with the Chinese tea. You'll find that it washes the oil away. So actually a very practical reason why they serve tea with oily Chinese cooking is I think it helps to bind and wash away the oil so that it's not absorbed into your body. Right, so yeah. Another tip for those who love durians. Anybody love durians?
I love durian.
This is this is so weird. This is really so weird. But this just goes to show you how amazing nature is. Durian. The smell of durian is it sticks.
Yes.
So if you eat durian with your hand, it will smell. You try taking the husk of a durian. You just put it on the tap. You run the water to hit the white part. And the water you wash, the smell goes away.
Oh.
Experiment with it.
I'll
Try a bit, okay? In Singapore, where land of crazy people who spend 5,000-6,000 peso every time they eat durian. Okay, we are crazy. You just ask Lily. Lily is so happy because Lily's from Malaysia. They produce durian, and they are saying all the suckers in Singapore buying the Malaysian durians for super high price. All right. Anyway, when we eat durians at outside the fruit store, they will tie the durian husk to the tap.
Okay.
So that when you switch on the tap, it lands on the husk first, and then you wash your hands. No smell.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so this is like some tips, right? Like when you eat oily Chinese food, that's why you drink Chinese tea. It helps to wash the oil away. Okay, so just some olive oil. Is olive oil good for? You see this on? Yeah, let's see. Lily is my witness. It's so true. I don't know whether she's saying it's true that Singaporeans are suckers for buying expensive durian. No. Yes, I think both is true. Singaporeans are suckers for buying very expensive durians, and also that you can wash off the durian smell with the husk. All right, but Barbara asked about olive oil.
Okay, again, for cancer patients, no oil, okay? Regardless if it's plant or animal derived, no oil, because oil will accelerate the cancer metastasis. So olive oil, don't use it, okay? Don't use it.
And I think the reason why Doc Jansen is also so strong about this is, you know, if Doc Jansen ever says, yes, olive oil is good for you, you know what you would do, right? You will like put so much oil. If Doc Jansen says, you know, coconut oil is good for you or it's okay, I know what oil will do. You will deep fry all your food in coconut oil. Then you will say, yes, this is fried food, but we use good coconut oil, or we fried in virgin olive oil. So that's the reason why Doc Jansen is saying, no, all these oils are not good. It's not that we're trying to be so different from mainstream media, but as cancer patients, you just got to know that oil in your food raises risk of metastasis, which is spreading of cancer. And once your cancer spreads, your staging goes up, right? So that's just a risk.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir John and Dr. Jansen. All right. Another question coming from Ms. Techi Angeles. Diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer, done with 8 chemo sessions, had mastectomy. What is next for me, Doc?
Oh, that's a good question.
Wait, let me see, where did the question come in?
8 sessions chemo, mastectomy.
Oh, it's a question.
Personal.
Yeah, sorry, it's a question that came in privately.
Okay. Mastectomy, triple negative, finished with chemotherapy already, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
now the next step would be to assess whether or not your cancer is gone, whether or not you're on remission already. It would also, another question would be, how long have you had the last cycle of chemotherapy? Because if it's just quite recent, then I would also advise you to take PPARs to help your body recover from the effects of the chemotherapy. Okay, yeah. Also another one, if because right now you're already done with chemotherapy, so you have to undergo the imaging tests again, blood tumor markers, to see if the cancer is still there or if it has significantly decreased. Okay, if it has significantly decreased and it has been proven that you're already on remission, then the next step would be to prevent recurrence. So again, we go back to natural treatment, PPARs, and then lifestyle, especially your diet and exercise. Okay, then we just monitor from there. Okay?
So, a direct answer is, the next step is prevent recurrence. All right. So I think that's the goal. The next step is to prevent recurrence. So go for a consult for more specific advice from Dr. Jansen for your specific case.
Yes, I'm very pleased that Ms. Techi is asking this question despite of finishing all the
So important.
Yes.
So important. She now knows that it's not the end of the war. It's just that she has the first victory, and she needs to follow it up with another victory. The next benchmark will be the 5-year mark. And during this next few years, it's not sit around and hope that nothing happens, right? You can actually take many positive steps to make sure that your recurrence does not happen. Doc, I see a question. Does vitamin E help prevent cancer?
No.
Oh wow, that's a Okay, why, doc?
No.
Why is there an opinion that vitamin E would help? I mean,
Vitamin E, because vitamin E is an antioxidant. However, vitamin E in supplement form does not help at all. In fact, it has been also shown, no, in a lot of research and a lot of studies that vitamin E supplements can sometimes produce even harm. Okay, so vitamin E supplements will not do any bump in preventing cancer or even help you if you already have cancer at all. What I would suggest is you eat the fruit themselves, eat the plant themselves to get your vitamin E, because plant foods will have different types of vitamin E. You have hundreds of different types of vitamin E. Supplements are only the most vitamin E types in a single supplement that I have found is just 3.
okay, I think it's so important. Doc Jansen mentioned something. I think everybody, please open your ears to hear. He said that there are many types, maybe 100 types of vitamin E. Okay, just like beta carotene. In one carrot, there are 200 different forms of beta carotene. That means they're all beta carotene, but in different forms. All right. So it's very different from eating a carrot and taking a beta carotene supplement. Now, this one has actually been researched and proven. If you smoke and eat carrots, you lower your chance of getting lung cancer.
Yes.
But if you smoke but take beta carotene supplement, you increase your chance of getting lung cancer.
Yes.
So it's very weird, right? So why exactly? Maybe it's the interaction of the other few hundred types of beta carotene and what else is in a carrot that goes with the beta carotene that lowers your chances for lung cancer if you're a smoker. But if you take a pure extract, that doesn't work. That's why, even for us in Simply Nature's protocol, you take the extracts to activate your PPAR receptors. But we always tell you to take the tablets, right? Because that's how that's how God designed the food. So yes, you take the extract, but you take the tablet, so it has all the complete things that will work with the extract and give you the results that you want. So in natural, if we want natural therapy is not taking only vitamin E. That's not natural, right? That's artificially removed or isolated. Natural therapy means to eat the natural foods. And even in Simply Nature protocols, even though we extract the extract, we still ask you to eat the whole food, which is the PPAR tablets. All right, so now you understand why in all our doctors, whether Dr. Jansen or other doctors that you meet, when you take PPAR extracts, they will always still prescribe you the tablets together with the extracts. So that at the end of the day, you're taking the whole food. Very important.
Yes, it's very actually interesting because we get a lot of, we have this silent buyers who buy tablets, because they thought that it would be enough for cancers. And then it's good that you have explained that they have to be in synergy together.
Yeah, they have to be together. For cancer, you can't just eat the tablets, right? The tablets are cancer preventing, but when you get cancer, you gotta get something much stronger, right?
Yeah. All right.
I think Jane asked a very good question. No, I think this one is very important.
Yes. Is it okay for triple positive breast cancer stage 2 patient to just take PPARs and not go through chemotherapy or hormone therapy?
Always a question.
It's not enough. Now, for stage 2 breast cancer, for stage 2, the cancer has already spread into your lymph nodes. Now, if it has spread into your lymph node, it has gotten out of the original organ already. Okay, it has spread. Now, if it has spread, then you have to take all necessary action to fight it off. Okay, don't just rely on PPARs. Don't just rely on your food. You have to undergo the chemo, surgery, hormone therapy, and radiation therapy as necessary to give you the best outcome possible. Okay, because if you just rely on, for example, one treatment modality, then yes, your chances of remission would be, you'll get some benefit out of it, of course, no. However, this is cancer that we're tackling. Okay, so you want to have the best outcome possible, because in the next 5 years,
you do not want it to come back again. Okay?
Maybe Doc, at this point, I'd like to share what me and Doc have a conversation on, and I think it's an episode that is going to come this year. Okay, so we looked at what happens to the recurrence of cancer patients. So people who treated themselves successfully, naturally to fight with cancer, that means they didn't go for chemotherapy, they didn't do radiation therapy, and yet they are naturally cured, they are cancer free. What's very amazing and very scary is that the 5-year mark and the 10-year mark, the number of people who got the cancer came back is much higher for those who didn't go for chemotherapy. So let me say it clearly again. Yes, you can successfully become cancer-free naturally, especially for the early stages. But what they found out when they followed up with these patients over years is that the ones who didn't go for chemotherapy, the cancer actually came back 5, 10, 15 years later. The longer the time, the higher the percentage of the cancer coming back. And the reason is very simple for everyone to understand. This is one of the reasons, not the only reasons, right? Okay, it takes some time for the cancer cell to double, right? So let me give you an example. 1. When you double 1, it becomes 2. Very small.
Yes.
Okay, but if you double 200, you get 400. That's very big difference, right? Is there a big difference between giving you $200 and $400? Maybe let's make it more exciting. How about the difference between giving you $500,000 and $1 million? Big difference, right? Who would rather always get the $1 million, right? Yeah, but is there a big difference if I give you 50 cents or $1? You'll be like, Shen, you can't buy even a soft drink with 50 cents. Keep the change, right? So this is something very important to understand, right? When you are cancer-free, it doesn't mean that the cancer cells are all gone. It just means that you have 50-cent cancer cells in your body. So it may take 5 years or it may take 10 years for it to reach the value of $200. From 50 cents to $200 may take you 10 years. But once you hit $200, the next doubling, if the doubling takes 3 months, that means 3 months later from $200, you have $400. 6 months later, you have $800. But 6 months ago, you only had $200. Big difference between $200 and $800. Very little difference between 50 cents and $5. You get what I mean? So why go for chemotherapy when you can be treated naturally? Because chemotherapy is damaging. It really kills cancer cells. And yes, it does hurt your body as well. That's why Simply Nature PIPA protocol is so important. With the Simply Nature PIPAs, you protect yourself from the side effects of the chemotherapy, but what you really want is the good effect of the chemotherapy. That you will kill the cancer cells so that there are no more $5 cancer cells. There are only 5-cent cancer cells left in your body because of the chemotherapy killing. You reduce your cancer cells from $5 to 50 cents or maybe to 5 cents, right? If your cancer cell is 5 cents, for it to reach $1,000, it will take a long time, maybe longer than the life that you have left. So you will be cancer free for a longer time. So it's very interesting that the research shows that those who don't complete their chemotherapy, the chances of them getting cancer back 5 years later, 10 years later, and 15 years later, the longer it is, the higher the chance the cancer comes back. So yes, you will be successful treating early cancer stage without any chemotherapy, without any radiation therapy. But you have actually a higher chance based on the research that later in life, it will come back. So how do we use this information? Very simple. If you are 70 years old, you can opt not to go for chemotherapy because you don't have 20 years to wait for the cancer to come back, right? And even if it comes back, you are 90, you're also ready to go, right? But if you are 30 or 40 years old, you should really consider to go for chemotherapy because you don't want the cancer to come back when you're 55 or 60 years old. You're still young. Okay, so again, we are not saying that you must go for chemotherapy, We hope that you understand the logic behind it so that you know whether to choose to go or not to go. Sheila, you are muted.
Sorry. So thank you so much again, Sir Sean and Dr. Jansen. You know, we keep on saying this. We want you to have that good relationship with your doctors, regardless of because you're going both worlds, the natural and also conventional. Okay. All right. Okay. At this point, okay, I think for the questions that we haven't answered yet, don't worry. We'll get in touch with you individually. Right, after the program. But for now, I'd like to ask for a very short parting words from our two gentlemen tonight, starting up, of course, with our Sir Sean Lim and followed by Dr. Jansen and Calalan.
I think I talked a lot already, so tonight I will leave it to Dr. Jansen.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, so just to add to what Shan has already shared with us tonight, no. So PPARs and chemotherapy actually work hand in hand together. So chemotherapy, yes, it damages healthy cells, it damages cancer cells. However, if you combine that with PPARs, not only do you mitigate the side effects, it can also make the chemotherapy much more hostile to the cancer cells. You can the chemotherapy will be able to kill off more cancer cells. Okay. However, and also it works the other way as well. Chemotherapy can also make the PPAR agonist more effective. Okay, PPAR agonist has also been shown to be able to kill cancer cells. Okay, and actually, chemotherapy can even bring down the masks of cancer cells. Okay, so that the immune system can kill them off. However, the problem here is chemotherapy can also make your immune system's function weak. So you have PPAR agonists to make it strong. Okay, so it works hand in hand. It is best to take them together. All right, and of course, even if it's just stage 2, you already have to take sufficient amount of action, because stage 2 breast cancer has a better prognosis than a stage 3 and a stage 4 breast cancer. So at this stage,
you don't want to become stage 3. At least if you are stage 1, you still have one more stage 2.
Stage 2.
But from stage 2, once you go to stage 3, it's a totally different ball game already.
It would be different if it's stage 0 breast cancer or stage 1 breast cancer.
Then you can try.
Yeah, you can try. I mean, you have time in your favor, right? But for stage 2,
you're already on the borderline. Don't cross to stage 3. Once you go stage 3, it's a whole different story.
Okay, so I really loved the discussion tonight. I learned a lot from you as well, especially the one who asked Terostil beam. No, it's not a very usual question that comes up. And then I hope you guys all learned a lot. Thank you for staying with us until this late at night. And then I'll see you in the next week, in our next webinar.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jansen, and thank you, Sir Sean. That was very important. A lot of people are saying thank you. Someone said Sir Juan. Okay, it's Sir Sean, and of course, Dr. Jansen. Thank you so much for sharing those wonderful and very encouraging answers to all our patients tonight. Okay, having said that, next week, November 3, same time, 7:30, we are having the topic entitled Cancer Treatment, the Need to Complete Protocols. So it's very in line with the last question that we had just had right now. Once again, so that's this coming next Thursday, November 3, 7:30. Okay? And also, I'd like to mention this again, please, for our clients and patients, please don't miss your PPARs dosage this coming holiday long weekend. So please make sure to place your orders so that we can still release them by tomorrow. All right, there you go. Okay, are we showing the next? Okay, there you go. But once again, just a reminder, we still have the ongoing promo for the.
See your face, that's funny.
Okay, I can hear myself. Once again, just a reminder. I can hear myself. Okay. Once again.
All right.
Is it okay now? Okay.
Yeah, go.
All right, once again, if you purchase a pepper liquid extract or powder extract, you'll be getting a free. If you purchase a pepper, you'll be getting a free.
Okay, never mind. Yeah. Let's fix.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Okay, a lot better now. Once again, okay. For those, please don't forget to place your orders so that we can still release them by tomorrow before the long weekend starts. Also, we are still the ongoing promo for the free AD Pro worth 2,700 if you purchase powder extract or liquid extract. And also our buy one take one AD Pro, as explained by Sir Sean Lim a while ago. It is perfect not only for psoriasis and eczema, but also for people on radiation and for people on chemotherapy with complications on skin, which is itchiness. There you go. All right. So once again, we would like to say thank you to all our viewers coming from Facebook and also our YouTube channel viewers. And we really hope to see you once again in our next webinar next Thursday, and of course our next webinars to come. Because here in Simply Nature, we are always with you from start to healing. Thank you, everyone. Good night. God bless you.